Fractions to decimals with number chips. This is the Valentine's Day version. And it starts with a little review preparing students to change their fractions to equivalent fractions with 100 in the denominator. So this first slide, they're just asked to move these number chips. And this one's very simple. What do we multiply times each of these numbers to get 100? So to move the number chips, you just click on the edge, click and hold, and then they can move them into place. So on every slide, they will use every number chip. And that way, if they get to the end of a slide and the numbers aren't working, they know they've made an error and they need to go back and check again. Now on slide 3, now they're going to be changing these fractions to equivalent fractions with 100 in the denominator. So they know that they have to multiply 50 times 2. That means they also have to multiply 9 times 2, and that gives them an equivalent fraction of 1800ths. On the next one, they know they have to multiply 25 times 4, so that means they have to also multiply 5 times 4, and that gives them 20 hundredths, and so on. And again, they will use every single number chip. Slide 4 is a review of place value. It just asks them to place each one of these numbers in the correct place. It says place your 4 in the ones place. Place your 1 in the tenths place, and so on. Now, slide 5 shows students how to change a fraction with 100 in the denominator to a decimal. So here, if you have 100 in the denominator, the number on the far right in the numerator goes in the hundreds place. So you can see by the arrows that 9 is going to go here. And then you just place the other numbers in order, which means this number to the left of the decimal point will be a 0. So this one, again, 100 is in the denominator, so that means this number on the far right of the numerator, the 3, will be in the hundreds place. And so on. And for a fraction greater than 1, again, that 0 will go in the hundredths place, and then all of the other numbers just fall into line. So they can see that this fraction's greater than 1, our decimal will be greater than 1 also. So the next few slides, they're just going to be converting from a fraction with 100 in the denominator to a decimal. On slide 7, they've got 5 100s, so students tend to want to put the 5 here in the tenths place, but they need to know that it goes in the hundreds place. 5 100s. The next slide has fractions greater than 1. So pretty simple, they just put them in order. They know it's going to be a number greater than 1. And so on. So the next slide, they're going to be converting to an equivalent fraction with 100 in the denominator and then change it to a decimal. So from 50 hundredths, they're going to change it to 50 hundredths as a decimal. And they're going to do that. We've got 3 slides they're going to be doing that on, just converting from fractions to equivalent fractions to decimals. Now, when they get to slide 12, on this one, they can't just convert straight to an equivalent fraction with 100 in the denominator. I can't scale up 40 to get 100. So on these fractions, they have to simplify first. So if I divide numerator and denominator by 2, I'm going to get 3/20ths. Then I can convert it to an equivalent fraction by multiplying by 5. I get 15 hundredths and then change it to a decimal. The second one, we divide numerator and denominator by 3 and then convert it to a fraction with 100 in the denominator. Now there are fractions we can't convert. I can't, if I simplify, I get 1/8, and I can't convert that to a fraction with 100 in the denominator, so I have to use long division. So students are going to use all of these number chips to do the long division. 8 goes into 10 one time. 8 times 1 is 8. Subtract, bring down. They need to know that these are zeros. The zeros will just continue. So bring down a 0. 8 goes into 20 two times, which is 16. Subtract. They get 4. Bring down the last 0. And now 8 will go evenly into 40 5 times. So they have just changed their fraction to a decimal 125 thousandths. Now you've got another long division problem on the next slide. And then finally, you've got a fraction that changes to a repeating decimal. So this will be just a 6 that continues to repeat. So when they complete the division, they're going to use this bar to show that 6 repeats. The final slide is just some vocabulary you might want to introduce to the students for terminating decimal, non-terminating decimal, and repeating decimal. So this is Fractions to Decimals with Number Chips, the Valentine's Day version.